Hey everyone, it's Dave Bennett. It's July 15th, 2021, and we've gone through a massive number of upgrades in the last couple of months, different things we've been working on to make both the system better and then the way we handle projects better. You know, we've been talking about the goal is to be able to provide anyone efficiently and pretty cost effectively the equivalent of what we did for the locksmiths. You know, that's generating them as much as maybe a quarter billion a year in revenue by now. Absolutely huge amount of project power. And the idea is we can pretty much do that for anybody now because we have what has to be the most mass capable generation platform there is in the nation that's available to the public, guns for hire. So anyway, we've been continuing to improve upon the processes. I had a whole playlist called Core Web Vitals on my YouTube channel. So you should go watch that playlist if you haven't. It's just mind-boggling how we're erasing footprints for Google and how we're creating variability at new levels that you never really hear spoken about. Even right down to adjusting attributes within URLs so it doesn't always follow the same format like a href target rel. It could be a rel href target a target rel href. It could be anything. And the way the links are broken in, the way the backlinks are broken in, the way we structure content splits so that we can split paragraphs, either have one large one or two smaller ones or even three smaller ones, and whether we have more subheaders appear in the middle of those or not, so that when we do mass pages in the stack, Google doesn't see the same thing happening over and over again. And then taking that step further, we can have alternate storylines. So depending on which link is clicked, it goes to this structure. So if it's like A, B, C, D, E, then D, E, F, J, K. So then if somebody clicks on a link that's A, that takes them to F. But if they click on a link that's B, it takes them to G, right? C takes to H, that kind of thing. And so we can have structured alternating storylines so that Google doesn't even see the same subtopic breakdown on page after page after page. You know, you can start in a main topic and then kind of tree branch through the points you want to make, but it's not just that there are 5 points to make. You could make any one of hundreds of points in different combinations, you know, or at least several points in different combinations. You could probably go into hundreds, but most of them are not going to be that important as intro topics. So you would choose from maybe 25. You could go through like 5 sets of 5, right? So that becomes extremely important because when we generate, we want Google to see less and less of anything relevant. So then I talked about how when you create the backlinks for websites, you don't want them all to be perfect because Google doesn't ever see that. Simple way of putting it. If you see a WordPress site, is it backlinked by only WordPress sites? No, it's a mix, right? Is it backlinked? Is one website with a lot of backlinks? Is it backlinked by websites that all have perfect HTML coding? No. Is it backlinked by websites that all have second generation image formats? No. All have minified HTML? No. So in order to get better, you have to get worse. You have to filter in combinations. So we're actually setting up these stacks. And then it's not always the same engine. Like I say, we have 3 engines. We have theme to HTML. Then we have the simplified version of it as Easy Page Generator. And then we have HTML Blitz. And the caveat is that HTML Blitz is not really an engine. Our stuff is an add-on happening in the background that Google can't see. All it sees is that website's coding. So website by website by website by website, they can be completely different, and we can still use our structure and our alternating storylines and our everything else that we want to use. But you know, the backlink mastery BLM process, Google doesn't see it as the same engine. It doesn't even see it as the same cluster. It doesn't look at all familiar to Google. They're all different. Well, we're at a point where we can handle 2 10,000 project launches a week. 2, okay? So that locksmith project that took us like 6 months to accomplish, right? That's making them so much money. We can do 2 projects a week that are larger than that and smarter than that and have the lead decryption coding in the background running. And I will get into where we're taking that because even that's going new level. And when you hear this, you're going to love it. But let me get there. So I just want to, I got to point out at least some basics, right? If you don't see something, it's so hard to understand any of this. So like for instance, with the Word documents, okay, I'm just gonna make this point with some of these Word documents. If I were to open these, um, this would be, for example, 4 pages that are meant to be variable for a project, right? And when we open them, I just want to point this out. We taught our copywriters to put in the H1 tags at the top, okay, to put in H2 tags where applicable, okay. So that's how that would go when they're creating the ultimate tier 1 or UTO, unlimited tier 1 contents. This would be one of those, okay, and we can make alternate storylines out of these, so we don't have to follow in the same manner for all the sub paragraphs. But this is professionally written. No matter how many variations we make of this, they're gonna score on Grammarly like in the 90s 99% of the time. So when we make tons of pages, they're all readable, they're all good. An English instructor would grade the page highly, and so would Google, and that's the whole point. But they're all different. They're not plagiarized at all. They're totally different, and that's what Google's going to see. Now, anyway, H1 tag, that's your big generic concept, and then you've got one or more paragraphs of information, maybe, because then what do you have? Then you have a subtopic. Oh, okay, and then that's going to take some paragraphs. And then you've got, another subtopic, because then it's going to have its own paragraphs, and then you're going to have yet another subtopic, and it's going to go through its own till you get to the end of the page, however many words you had for that project, okay? Now, that's true for all these pages, okay? Here's a different page. It's got its own H1 tag, followed by, its own breakdown. So anyway, the copywriters understand H1 tags, H2 tags, and if I can find it anywhere on one of these pages, bullet points. Coding for bullet points. Ordered lists and unordered lists. That is whether the bullet points are supposed to be numbered, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or just generic bullet points, right? So here's a set that's unordered. So these 3 right here are not going to be numbered, but that's the whole set. So we taught the copywriters how to handle all this. So when they do UTO, it's got these tags broken down. What's the point? The point is this. These pages are ready. Oh, and there's the ordered list. See that? OL? So that means this is going to be numbered 1, 2, 3 before it comes to the end. Okay? So that's cool. Could those be variables? Yeah, they could. They could be variables so that they could sometimes be ordered, sometimes unordered. Again, just to kill a footprint. I mean, it's not even hard for us to do this anymore. It's so crazy. Now, the point I want to make is this. When we would go through, we would need to prepare this thing for a VAR sheet, right? We have to inevitably do what with it? We've got to, where's a good place for me to show you? Okay, I'm going to show you in a minute. Word to VS macro stack. Okay, VAR sheet. I got to get information from what would have been the Word documents that were prepared. They have to be made ready for the VAR sheets and the pages, right? All the tokens that form the variables and how they're laid out in the pages so that the tokens read from the VAR sheet and choose the wording and so on, right? And whatever the heading format is, and the bullet points all have to be part of it. Well, I'm going to get that ready. It used to take about 7.5 hours to do that with 5 pages. I'm just going to show you what it's like now, okay? I'm going to hit this smiley face. That's the macro in Word that just did all of the Word side. There's like 20 things that had to do. So now I can just file, save this as. I'll get around to making some kind of a macro to save this thing as a text file sooner or later. But there you go. It's just got to be like that. And that way I can close that page. That used to take a long time to do all of these steps that I'm doing here just like this. These steps are done, okay? And so, again, I can save as, okay, and make it a text file. Save. Okay. All right, this used to take a long time when we'd hand it to somebody, and now it's just hit the smiley face, okay? And it's going to be done. Okay. And then finally, by the way, you might see that it's getting rid of the H1 tag in the very, very beginning. There's a reason for that, because when we put it in the WYSIWYG editor, we have to put the H1 tag in there. Simple little step. But now, here we go. So check this out. This is so wild. So inside that folder, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me refresh. Did I not get them all? Maybe I didn't get them all. I got 3 and 4. What about 1 and 2? Let me go ahead and just make sure I get those after all. I must not have done that after all. File, save as. Boom. And save. Okay. Should be good. Yeah, 1, 3, and 4. So I just need 2. Let me just do that real quick. Yeah, I'm sure what you are seeing is that this isn't hard, right? Yeah, save as. Text. Go. Boom. All right. Yeah, so I should have 1, 2, 3, and 4 text documents here, and that's the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it doesn't even matter what they're named, okay? So just watch what happens next. This is crazy. That macro ran, it took literally seconds, right? I'm just showing you what's going on, but to open all of them and run the macros on each is no effort. Now what? Now I come in here and I just walk through these word macros that do the rest of the work. Again, this used to be 7.5 hours to get all this done. Okay. We're just going to go. Okay, and it brought in the 4 separate pages down here. Okay, it's got the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one, and they're all broken out. All right, they go all the way across to where they're supposed to go. Everything's laid out properly as far as variables are concerned. So let's just continue. I'm going to give them column titles. If you look right now, no column header in here anywhere, right? We would have to create it, var 1, and then drag it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'd have to do it on all these tabs, right? Except we don't need to do that. We're just going to do it like that. Okay. And then we handle, so take a look. Now it's got the header row. See that? var. And the numbering system is just the way we do it by the pages now to make it really, really easy for us to forecast where every page is. You'll see. So we did the titles. Now we're going to fix some things that are usually kind of hard to fix in the system. They're like unreadable characters and stuff like that. So it's going to go through and verify all of that is taken care of. Then we're going to fix some other data issues, similar concept. Now we're going to concatenate columns. So anywhere where we have columns like this one is just one word and that one is one word next to each other, well, we don't need that. You know, look at that. We're just wasting space. So we can put them together. It should be cards are all in one column. Okay, so we're just simply going to concatenate the columns. Okay, it's going through them all, var sheet 1 and 4. It's even showing me the progress of the bottom so I can see everything happen, right? And that way, when I come back, cards are goes together now, doesn't it? See that? Saves us a lot of columns. The fewer columns, the faster the page load. Why waste columns? Isn't that crazy? It's doing all this straight off those initial Word documents through text into this. So then what? Generate the pages sheet. It's done. This is what we go into the admin panel and paste into the pages section. Take a look. See this? All I do is paste this in for page 1, and it's going to totally populate page 1 properly, complete with the H1 tags. In the WYSIWYG editor, after I paste it in, I only need to create the initial H1 tag at the very, very, very beginning and create the closing paragraph tag at the very, 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 very end. So I've only got to do that on a few pages, like 5. That's it. How long does that take? No time, right? Other than that, the whole work's done. Okay, I mean, I could even put them in here and then just paste it in there. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, here we go. And so that's for page 1. That's for page 2. This is for page 3. That's for page 4. All my work is done. Okay, then what? Now that I got the sheets, the pages tab all ready for my pages, I've still got these 4 separate var sheet tabs. I don't want 4 tabs. I want to consolidate it into one single big var sheet. Done. Now I have my var sheet tab, right? Which is perfectly ready. It's got all the pages worth of stuff on it. I can paste in the system columns I need at the beginning and the backlink mastery columns. Just paste that stack in, adjust those, and now I'm ready to upload the var sheet. And on the other hand, put all the tokens into the pages the right way, and I'm done. We're talking about, I don't know, 5 minutes if I didn't take the time to explain it to you. to get that much done. Okay, everything about incredible efficiency has been going on and on and on. So That's barely scratching the surface of what we've been doing for the past 2 months. I mean, barely. So I want to point out some other things real quick. Here's another one that's really, really important to understand because I'm going to layer this with the next point in a second. I don't know. I better start here. Okay, I'll start here. What the heck? This will be neat. Bear with me. You'll think you'll know where we're going until you realize that it's bigger than that. All right, so we started creating tons and tons of HTML Blitz templates that we are converting into full-scale theme to HTML templates so that we can have templates so different that they're not recognizable. You wouldn't recognize that they belong to us. Google won't recognize that they belong to our engine. And humans won't either. If QA went through and evaluated all the sites, right? If they went through listings of front page results, they wouldn't be able to tell which websites are ours and which websites aren't. That's our goal. Our job for QA is when you go checking for our sites, we hope you can't find them, right? So check this out. This is just an example. Does this template look like ours? Not really, right? It looks like somebody else's template for the most part, right? Doesn't look like ours, does it? Well, it's going to be ours. It's going to be another template, right? And then look at this one. This is pretty freaking cool. I'm not kidding. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And these have really, really cool animations when you first load the pages. Like I already loaded them, right? If I were to reload the page, you know, you'll see just different stuff pop up, you know, whatever it is that you want to see. And, you know, you can go down and just see what's going on here. But again, doesn't look like ours, does it? It looks like somebody else's, right? Let me keep going. Okay. Doesn't look like ours, does it? And again, templates for every industry that are usually convertible to every industry. And yeah, every section can be flipped on or off. And pretty soon, every section can be reordered according to our mass layout so that we can take some of the sections and flip them. You wouldn't take the top and put it on the bottom, but as you scroll down and you hit this is a section, that's a section, that's a section, this is a section, this is a section, that's a section. They don't have to be in that order. You would leave the pre-footer and the footer at the bottom. You would leave the top stuff at the top, but the guts can be reordered, okay? That's neat because again, it kills footprints. It makes for uniqueness. Let me just try flipping through all of this real quick. I just want to point this out, okay? These are all really different. Again, I love the way the effects look when you actually load the templates for the first time. I'm not gonna, there's over 100 here, okay? I just want to point out how different they are, right? And this is part of it. Now I'm going to explain the two things that go with it. Because yes, all of these are going to work very soon with our templates. Literally all of them. Okay. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Some of these are so cool. There's a barber one coming up that I'm just in love with it for its uniqueness. And I'm going to get to the end. I'm going to make some other points because there's so many points to make. Okay, there's the barber one. Check this out, you know. You look down through here and it's just, oh, it's just gorgeous, right? There's another one. It's got some parallax stuff in the background that's also gorgeous. You know, oh, I don't know what to say. I'm spending so much time on this and I shouldn't be, should I? Yeah, but what I mean to say, and this, like, let me see if I can get the activity. Yeah, take a look at the way that loads up, right? All these templates are doing things like that. You know, when you scroll down and they do whatever they're doing down here. See that? Look at this. Looping video in the background and stuff for construction. But we can do this for anything, okay? Oh, look at this one. This is neat. Here's a guy sitting here. You know, he hiked all the way up, right? When I start to scroll down, think about this being like a travel website or a, hey, take a vacation or go hiking website. Look at that. How's that, you know? So it's like, what can we do? What can we offer you? What kind of a tour would you like to take? Are you traveling in a group? Are you traveling alone? Do you want to do the survivalist thing? Or, you know, oh, man. So all of these are different. And that's just it. Who can tell that they belong to us when they're so different? Let me see about this one too. I think this was a pretty cool loading site. Yeah, well, it is anyway. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. You come down through it and it's just gorgeous. Now, this may look like a logistics nightmare for all the information that's in these templates, right? How do you make this stuff work in a useful way? I'm going to explain it really, really soon. So let me see. I do believe, whoops, sorry. I do believe I'm getting close to the end of this. Just want to point it out because we've actually, oh yeah, here's the other barber template. I think it's so cool. The one with the parallax in the background. Let me reload it. I've got too many tabs open. Okay, here we go. And check that out. You know, just cool, man. The whole gallery thing is useful. You know, it's so nice. We've tried it with one or more, at least one different industry, and it also looked just hot in the other industry. Okay, so all these are going to be available as base templates that we can use, just like our other templates. Okay, base templates. Okay, it's really crazy cool. Oh man, I mean, I've got to even get to the end now because I all right, look at that. All right, I made my point. Let me get to the end. I've got like over 125 of these open. I even like some of these painting ones. Okay, let me see, painting. Yeah, like that. We really love to decorate your home. I mean, how nice is this? You know? Oh, so cool. And yep, check that out. That's so crazy. All right. I need to get to the end. It's right about here. I need to make some points really fast so that you can understand what this is all about. Okay, here we go. Finally. All templates, I'll get to this later. All templates, may as well reload it. All templates have basic rules, okay? You land on the front page, there's one H1 tag. If it's coded properly, there's a page title, there's a meta description, there's an H1 tag, there's paragraphs, there are a bunch of like one sentence clickable links that go to inner pages. So there's like an image, a header, and one sentence and click here kind of thing, or click the image and it goes to one of the pages. That's a kind of thing. That's like this. There's like an image, there's a header, there's a paragraph, maybe a read more link or a click here link. That's 4 things happening there, right? Well, that's set 1, set 2, set 3. We've got like 16 sets. Okay, we can expand it easily as we need. And then the same for every other section of these sites. Anything that acts like this, like a banner header, anything that acts like a call to action button, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's the point. We've got tokens for all these things. And when we choose to follow and no follow the links, you know, for SEO purposes. And we set up tokens and formats for literally all the standard stuff that ever applies on any of these templates, any of them, okay? And if we discover something that we missed, we'll just add it to the list. We can handle the var sheets of any sizes now. And so we've got, you know, what our H1 tag should be for each of the initial pages, what that would be like normally. With a browser title would normally be meta descriptions, meta keywords, and then we can adjust it as you know, for individual jobs, like whether we should or shouldn't use geo-targets or not. We've got formatting notes, SOP steps, things to make sure not to miss, how to do call to action at the bottom, you know, for the different sorts of things we want to say. What we need to make sure to replace in the way of the hidden characters and other things that are otherwise coding issues. We're just going through all this. So more and more of this is about serving you by doing the job for you instead of trying to explain to you how to do it. The further we get into this, the easier it is for us to just run these jobs at this higher and higher level. Okay. So you get the point there. The point is we are cookie cutter filling in everything on all those templates. All those templates. So like this one. Everything here is going to be cookie cutter filled in. You know what that means? That means if we launch a project and we just suddenly upload all these templates, everything is outfitted to run from one master var sheet for your project, for example. So it's possible to have all of these websites or any combination of them that are going to work for your project. It's possible to have images throughout all of these that work for your project. It is possible to have a bunch of these used for backlinking your sites, a bunch of them used as affiliates, a bunch of them used as referrer sites, and a bunch of them used as your base website, yours, right? Home websites. And it can be one home website or 100 home websites. This is coming. It's going to take months before we're all set with everything the way we want it. But I have more to explain. This is part of the project puzzle. But what I mean to say is, can we have all of this work? Yeah, we have tokens for this. The business days, we have tokens for the business hours. You know, this, if this is new, like in excerpt for closed on weekends, we can include it in the var sheet. Anything we don't use on a certain template can be marked as null. Anything that is used will be used. Anything that's extra on the var sheet as compared to the template doesn't matter. We can have more stuff in the var sheet than is on the page. So we can have one var sheet with enough case combinations to literally cover all of the templates. Isn't that insane? That's really part of the goal, because it means that we can launch a project with any combination of the templates. Obviously, the price of the project will go up because of all the work that goes into this if we're going through that many. So consider it a phase to climb up to. But imagine what it's like when you can launch, the variation websites that we do, but instead of across just four template bases or 6 templates to start, those variations, like the locksmiths, they use a combination of 4. Their templates, and really just 4. It is 4. So they have 4 base templates they use to create 7,000 websites. What happens when we have 150 base templates that we use? Okay. There is no locating us in the market. We're endlessly able to replace anything that got caught as a footer just suddenly. We're endlessly able to add new. We're endlessly able to overwhelm the competition. We're endlessly able to create all the different combinations. So if Google won't rank that one on the front page because it already sees a website like this for your project, it can rank that one on the front page because it doesn't see anything like that on the front page for that keyword. But what about a different keyword where those two, Google's got something on the front page? Oh, well, Google ranked that one instead. Get it? So for thousands of keywords, right? Google will find value in ranking like all of your websites because they're all going to be HTML5, CSS3, Bootstrap enabled. They're all going to enable gzip compression. They're all going to leverage browser caching. They're all going to have minified HTML. They're all going to have minified JS and CSS file. They're all going to use WebP second generation image formats as the made websites, and then the variations of the websites where the HTML is not yet minified and or the images are still JPG instead of WEBP, and or there are errors in the coding, so that we can create that rich texture of what Google will call realistic the entire way. And using any combination of pages, any alternate storylines, and backlink mastery so that Google can't recognize similarities in the way backlinks are used and in the attributes within the URLs themselves. And the types of URLs, like you can't always say the third paragraph down, second sentence has a backlink. No, sometimes it's not the second sentence, third paragraph down. Sometimes it's somewhere else. And not just that, often it's somewhere else. Not just that, but it doesn't always have a city in it. It's literally whatever we want it to be. So proper backlinking profiles times awesome combinations. Now, if you get that, you might be thinking, okay, that's pretty huge. I'm going to multiply that in your mind. Multiply it. So here's the point where you're probably thinking, okay, I caught on. That's big. Not yet. So I'm gonna break it off. I'm at half an hour. I'm gonna break this video off, and I'm gonna do the next one where I tell you what the stratosphere of this looks like, and continue explaining what's going on next, because we scratched the surface and we got about a quarter of the way in. So far, we're at a quarter of the way in. That's how crazy this has been. All right. I'll talk to you soon.